Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're looking at Lincoln wheat penny coins, made from 1909 to 1958. These old pennies have Lincoln on the front and wheat ears on the back. Some are special because of their age or small details that make them different. People collect them, and a few can be worth more than just 1 cent. Let's find out which ones are interesting and fun to look for. First up, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark and showing a reddish shade is a stunning and vibrant piece of American history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during the post-World War II boom years, this coin represents a time of great optimism and national pride. Even in everyday pocket change, Americans could see the enduring face of Abraham Lincoln, a reminder of the country's ideals of unity and freedom. The reddish tone that this particular coin displays is especially desirable among collectors because it means some of the original mint luster has survived over the decades. That fiery copper glow can add significant appeal and even boost its value depending on the surface quality. On the front or obverse, we see Lincoln's familiar profile, designed by Victor D. Brenner. His gaze is steady, surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1951. The lack of a mint mark tells us this coin was made in Philadelphia. The reverse continues the classic wheat penny design with 2 stylized ears of wheat flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America. Along with the motto E pluribus unum, this design remained unchanged from 1909 to 1958 and has become one of the most loved images in U.S. coin history. In fact, many older collectors today still remember using these wheat pennies in their childhood, back when a penny really meant something. Philadelphia produced over 284 million of these pennies in 1951, so it's not a rare coin in terms of mintage. However, coins like this one with reddish coloring are in a special category. As copper ages, it naturally darkens and often turns brown from oxidation and exposure to air. But some pennies manage to hold onto their original red tone, especially if they were stored carefully or spent little time in circulation. This red hue is highly prized by collectors and often plays a huge role in how the coin is graded and valued. Even though this coin has some age, its coloring gives it a youthful brightness that collectors absolutely love. In terms of value, a typical circulated 1951 penny in brown condition might fetch around 10 to 20 cents. But with red coloring and a clean surface, even a coin in average circulated condition can be worth a bit more. If this particular coin has only light wear and still shows strong detail on Lincoln's features and the wheat stalks, it might be worth closer to $1 or more to the right beer. Uncirculated red examples can sell for much higher. In fact, coins in mint state with full red luster have sold for $20 to $40, and certified top-grade examples can even reach into the hundreds. Collectors also keep a close eye on coins from this era for any interesting errors or varieties. While the 1951 penny is not widely known for rare errors, it is possible to find small mistakes that increase value dramatically. Double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks are all types of errors that can appear on wheat pennies. Even a subtle error that might go unnoticed to the casual eye can make a big difference in value. A 1951 penny with a sharp and dramatic error in red condition could attract bids in the hundreds of dollars or more, depending on demand and rarity. Holding a 1951 red-toned Lincoln penny is like owning a piece of mid-century America. Think about the time it was minted. Families were buying their first televisions. The average car cost less than $2,000. Gasoline was 20 cents a gallon. And a penny could buy a piece of candy or start a savings habit in a child's life. This coin may have sat in a coffee shop's cash register, paid for a morning newspaper, or rested in someone's pocket during a long walk home. That's the kind of invisible story every coin carries, and that's part of what makes collecting them so special. This 1951 penny, with its bright red shade and historical charm, is more than just copper and age. It's a witness to decades of change, a silent traveler through time, and a small yet shining example of enduring American craftsmanship. Whether it's part of a growing collection or a cherished keepsake from the past, it deserves admiration and care. In the right hands, it may continue its journey for another 100 years, bringing wonder and value to future generations who will one day marvel at how something so small could hold so much history. Next up we have the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny in circulated condition is a humble yet meaningful piece of American coinage that tells a rich story. Minted in Denver during a time of national growth and post-war optimism, this penny holds a place not only in collectors' albums but also in the memories of countless Americans who once spent it on everyday items. Even with years of wear, the design remains recognizable and powerful. On the front, we see the ever-steady face of President Abraham Lincoln, a tribute to leadership and unity. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1956 surround his image. The small D beneath the date marks its Denver origin. One of the 3 U.S. mints active at the time turned the coin over, and the reverse side shows the classic wheat design created by Victor D. Brenner. To stylized wheat stalks frame the bold words 1 cent and United States of America, with the national motto E pluribus unum curving across the top. This wheat design was used from 1909 to 1958 and has since become a nostalgic favorite among coin collectors. The 1956 penny was one of the last in the wheat series before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. That fact alone gives it added significance to collectors who value the end of an era. The mintage for the 1956 wheat penny was remarkably high. Over 1 billion coins were struck at the Denver Mint, making it one of the most common wheat pennies ever made. Because of this large production, circulated versions like this one are generally easy to find and not rare in the traditional sense. However, age and condition always add interest. A coin that has survived nearly 70 years and still displays clear details despite its circulation is a testament to the resilience of old American coinage. Many collectors still seek out 1956 pennies to complete their sets, especially if they are new to collecting or working on building a full wheat penny collection. In circulated condition, most 1956 pennies are valued between 5 cents and -1 cents depending on the level of wear and eye appeal. Coins with strong details, minimal surface damage, and original coloring may command slightly more. However, the real excitement for collectors often comes from rare varieties and errors. The 1956 penny is known for having several potential errors that could increase its value. These include repunched mint marks, where the D was stamped more than once in slightly different positions, resulting in a visible doubling effect under magnification. Coins with this kind of error can sell for several dollars, and in top condition, even into the hundreds. There are also minor doubling errors, die cracks, and off-center strikes that sometimes appear on this date. While not every 1956 penny has an error, it is always worth examining them closely under good lighting or with a magnifying lens. You never know when a common-looking coin could turn out to be a hidden treasure. Even a slight misalignment or minting flaw can make a coin more desirable, especially if the error is dramatic or clearly visible without magnification. For many older collectors, this particular penny brings back memories of childhood. A penny in the 1950s could buy a piece of gum, start a savings jar, or be the reward for chores completed. It jingled in pockets during the Eisenhower years, sat in soda machines, and passed through the hands of kids collecting coins before heading to the local corner store. Owning one today, even in worn condition, brings those memories back and creates a personal connection to the past. The beauty of coins like the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is that they continue to be appreciated not just for their metal content, but for their history and symbolism. Each scratch and dent tells part of its journey. Even after decades of use, these coins hold their integrity and charm. They serve as tiny windows into American life, carrying stories that no history book ever could. Whether you are collecting for fun, investment, or nostalgia. This 1950-60 penny deserves a place in your collection as a symbol of resilience, tradition, and the enduring value of even the smallest piece of currency. Next up we have the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated condition is a fascinating coin that takes us back to the post-World War II years in American history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this penny carries no mint mark, a common trait for coins from that facility at the time. Though it may seem like an ordinary coin to the casual observer, collectors know that every Lincoln wheat penny tells a unique story through its age, design, wear, and journey through American hands. The obverse of the coin features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner. It includes the phrases "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln, and the date 1949 to the right. On circulated coins like this one, you may notice slight smoothing of the high points, especially on Lincoln's cheek, jaw, and hair. Yet, even with wear, the coin still retains its character and charm. The reverse shows the iconic wheat design, with two curved stalks bordering the denomination 1 cent and United States of America. At the top, E pluribus unum is boldly displayed, adding a touch of unity and national pride to the piece. Over 217 million of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia in 1949, so the coin is not considered rare in terms of production. However, that doesn't mean it lacks value or interest. In circulated condition, most 1949 wheat pennies are worth between 5 cents and 50 cents, depending on the level of wear and overall appeal. Still, what makes this coin exciting is its place in the transitional years of the late 1940s, a time when the United States was emerging from war and reshaping itself for the modern age. This coin might have helped buy a newspaper, a candy bar, or a bus fare during a time of great national change. Collectors particularly enjoy finding wheat pennies from this era because of their quality and historic importance. Coins like this are often part of starter collections for young hobbyists, and for older collectors, they evoke vivid memories of daily life when pennies truly held value. Imagine this coin changing hands during a 1949 trip to the movie theater, or being dropped into a piggy bank by a child saving for the first time. These coins are more than just metal. They are time capsules that have traveled from generation to generation. Although the 1949 Lincoln penny is not known for widespread errors, there are still occasional finds that excite the collector community. These include double dies where elements like the date or lettering are struck twice, creating a shadow-like effect, or die cracks that form raised lines on the surface. Off-center strikes where the coin was not properly aligned during minting also add value when they are dramatic. A 1949 penny with a clear and appealing error can sell for significantly more than its standard value, especially if the coin is in good condition or has been preserved with minimal damage. Another detail that draws collector attention is the color of the coin. Wheat pennies were made from 95% copper, and over time, their color can shift from bright red to deep brown. A coin that still has some of its original red luster, even in circulated condition, might be more desirable. While this 1949 penny is circulated and likely leans toward the brown end of the color spectrum, even a faint shine from its original mint glow can add both beauty and collectible appeal. When you hold a coin like this 1949 wheat penny, you are not just looking at a simple piece of change. You are holding something that has seen more than 70 years of American history. It passed through decades of growth, conflict, celebration, and transformation. Coins like this serve as living reminders of how something so small could once play such a meaningful role in everyday life. From store counters to school desks, these pennies moved through countless hands, each one adding a little more to their silent story. The fact that this coin is still here, even after all those years, shows its strength and lasting value. While it may not bring thousands of dollars at auction, its true worth lies in its connection to the past, its role in a shared history, and the joy it brings to collectors who know how to appreciate the quiet treasures hiding in plain sight. This 1949 Lincoln wheat penny remains a humble but powerful link to the American experience, and it's a coin that deserves both recognition and respect in any collection. Next up we have the 1949's Lincoln Wheat penny in damaged condition with small black shading is a coin that holds both historical and sentimental value despite its wear. Minted at the San Francisco Mint, this penny carries the small yet distinct S Mint mark beneath the date, a detail that always draws attention from collectors who seek coins from every U.S. mint location. Even though it shows signs of damage and dark discoloration, this coin has survived more than 7 decades and continues to represent a piece of everyday American life from the post-war era. The obverse features the dignified image of President Abraham Lincoln, surrounded by the words "In God We Trust" along the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1949 with the S Mint mark on the right. Although damage may have softened some of the finer details on Lincoln's face or in the surrounding inscriptions, his image remains a steady symbol of unity and resilience. The reverse showcases the classic wheat ears design, which framed the words 1 cent and United States of America from 1909 through 1958. Above those words, the Latin phrase E pluribus unum still stands out, a reminder of the nation's motto even on well-worn coins. Over 64 million of these 1949's wheat pennies were produced, making them more common than some other San Francisco mint issues. Still, even with high mintage numbers, finding one in good shape today can be a challenge, especially given how long they have been circulating and the effects of time and environment on copper coins. The dark spots or black shading seen on this coin are often the result of oxidation or exposure to moisture and contaminants over the years. Damage like this reduces the coin's grade, but for collectors, it adds a layer of curiosity and personality. Each mark or shade tells a story of where the coin might have been and what it might have witnessed. In average circulated condition, a 1949's Lincoln Wheat penny might be valued at 5 to 15 cents. More pristine examples can fetch higher prices, especially if they retain a red hue or show minimal wear. However, coins with damage or dark spots tend to remain at the lower end of the value range unless they possess an unusual error or variety that makes them stand out. Interestingly, some 1949's pennies are known to exhibit repunched mint marks or die cracks, and these varieties can increase a coin's desirability and value. A repunched mint mark happens when the S was struck more than once in slightly different positions during production, creating a visible doubling effect. While these varieties are rare, they can elevate the value into the several dollar range, and even more if the coin is in exceptional shape despite its age. For collectors who enjoy hunting for errors or building full sets of wheat pennies from each mint, a 1949's coin fills an important spot. Even if damaged, it helps complete the picture of that year's coinage. And while this coin may not hold the same investment appeal as a high-grade uncirculated piece, it still carries emotional value. This coin could have passed through the hands of a World War II veteran, a shopkeeper in a small town, or a child collecting coins for a school project. It might have been in a change jar, a payphone, or used to buy a newspaper in the early 1950s. Each scratch and shadow gives it more life and more history. One of the reasons collectors treasure these older wheat pennies is their connection to a time when every penny mattered. In the late 1940s, even a single cent had real purchasing power. People thought twice before tossing one aside. A coin like this was part of daily life, and its survival into the present day is a small but meaningful testament to that era. Despite the damage, the coin's presence today speaks to the strength of copper coins and the stories they carry with them. While the 1949's penny with damage and black shading may not earn headlines at an auction house, it still has its place. In the world of collecting, it serves as a reminder that value is not always measured in dollars. Sometimes it is measured in memories, in history, and in the satisfaction of preserving a tangible piece of the past. For anyone who has ever searched through pocket change or old jars in search of a wheat penny, finding a 1949's, even in worn condition, is still a special moment. It connects us not only to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, but to the millions of Americans who carried these coins and the everyday life they represent. Next up we have the 1953 D Lincoln Wheat penny. In used and circulated condition may not appear extraordinary at first glance, but it carries with it a deep and lasting connection to American history and the world of coin collecting, minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small d mint mark just below the date. This coin represents a time in the early 1950s when the United States was entering a period of post-war prosperity, yet still holding tightly to its wartime values of thrift and stability. Holding this penny is like holding a little piece of that era, a symbol of everyday life when a single cent actually meant something. The obverse of the coin features the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner. Surrounding Lincoln's profile are the words "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" on the left side, and the date 1953 to the right with the D mint mark just below it. On a used and circulated coin like this, the details may be slightly worn down, with some softening of Lincoln's facial features and hair. However, the character of the coin still shines through, and every tiny imperfection tells the story of its journey through countless pockets and hands. The reverse of the coin displays the classic wheat design that gave this series its nickname, the wheat penny. To stylize stalks of wheat curve along the sides, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above that is the Latin motto E pluribus unum. While circulation may have worn down some of the finer details on the wheat stalks or lettering, the overall design remains clear and easily recognizable to anyone who's spent time with this beloved coin series. Over 700 million of these pennies were struck at the Denver Mint in 1953, making them fairly common in general circulation. Because of that high mintage, they are not considered rare or especially valuable in circulated condition. A well-worn 1953 D wheat penny typically carries a value of about 5 to 15 cents, depending on how much detail is still visible and how evenly the coin has aged. But what makes this coin special isn't just its market price. It's the story it tells about mid-century America, and the fact that it has managed to survive more than 70 years of circulation is impressive in itself. Collectors of all levels enjoy adding the 1953 D to their collections because it fits into the broader story of the Lincoln Wheat series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. The Denver Mint issues are especially popular with those trying to build complete sets by year and mint mark. Even though this particular coin is well used, it still helps complete that picture and holds value in the eyes of a collector who appreciates the historical and emotional weight behind it. Some rare varieties and errors exist for the 1953 D penny, such as double die obverses or repunched mint marks. These errors can significantly increase a coin's value if they are in better condition and the doubling is easily visible. While this specific coin is circulated and used, making it less likely to feature such a clear error, it never hurts to check closely. A dramatic and well-preserved error could raise the value of a penny like this into the range of several dollars, or even much more if certified by a professional grading service. The coloring of the coin also plays a part in how collectors view its condition. Over time, copper coins naturally shift from bright red to brown or even a deep chocolate hue, especially after years in circulation. A 1953 D penny that still has traces of its original red tone, even if slightly worn, can be more desirable. However, in most circulated examples like this one, the coin has likely taken on a mellow brown or reddish-brown tone, which adds to its vintage appearance. This penny may have been part of someone's daily routine, dropped into a payphone, used at a diner, or saved in a child's piggy bank. It might have been carried in a soldier's pocket or passed through the hands of a factory worker, a school teacher, or a grocery clerk. These coins were everywhere, and each one carries a silent story that links us to generations past. That is part of the magic of collecting old coins, not just the thrill of finding something valuable, but the feeling of holding history in your hand. So even though the 1953 D Lincoln Wheat penny in used and circulated condition is not a coin that will make headlines or break auction records, it is still a coin worth celebrating. It's a reminder of a different time in America when pennies were powerful and coins were built to last. Whether you are just starting your collection or have been collecting for decades, coins like this one are essential pieces of the puzzle, offering a direct and personal connection to the rich tapestry of our shared past.